Hi, everyone. We're here at the Metals Investor Forum, January edition. We have Galen McNamara, who's CEO of Summa Silver. So, Galen, thanks for being here. You've got some really big news that you put out a couple of days ago. I'll just let you dive right into that and tell us about what all that is.
Thank you, Peter. So, of course, the really big news is that we put out mineral resource estimates on both of our American high-grade silver projects in the states of Nevada and New Mexico. And somebody told me the other day, he said, I hadn't even been thinking about this, it was 2 days ago. He said, yeah, I think you're the first person to ever put out two resources from two different properties in one press release. I thought, he might be right about that. I guess that's pretty interesting. But no, to the important details there. We're looking at between both of our projects about 68 million ounces of high-grade silver in the inferred category. An additional 10 million ounces of high-grade silver in the indicated category. Lots of room to grow on both of them, and very importantly, we're already drilling now, stepping out, starting to have some visual success, which was disclosed in the press release. So really, it's a matter of that's great. We got these resources. It's a great starting point. We're going to continue to grow.
Okay, well, perfect, because that leads right into my next question, which is, given the history of both of these projects, and as much as you're able to say and to estimate, in what's reasonable time-wise and so on, how much can you see these projects growing?
When I first started looking at these things, I want to look for world-class opportunities, and what are the best high-grade vein silver deposits around? I mean, pound for pound, they're the deposits in Mexico where you get 500 plus million ounces of silver equivalent. So I mean, really, that's the type of shot we're trying to take on both of these projects. Now, of course, like we might not. We're not going to say drill all that out right away, right. But I'm talking over the life of these projects. Somewhere in that neighborhood is really what we're shooting for. I think we have. And this may be a bit aggressive, but I think we have a pathway to 100 million ounces on each, and it's just a matter of diligently going after those ounces.
So, I mean, that doesn't sound unreasonable. It's a little bit more than a double.
Yeah.
Double overall, right? Let's say from where you are right now. Again, overall. Yeah. But given the histories of these projects, we know that there's a lot that's left there. And that's got probably generations to go.
Yeah, that's true. And the nice thing about going into these places that have seen so much historic mining is that the old time miners were really good at what they did, and they were really good at finding what they could find, but they didn't have the same tools that we have today. And we have all of the information that they generated because we know where they mined, we know where the veins are. So it's combining the historic knowledge with modern understanding. Modern exploration techniques that can be very, very successful.
That's something that you've talked about before, and maybe you can elaborate a little bit right now, is that you do emphasize that using the modern tools, and maybe you can talk a little bit about what those are for you and how you've applied them and how you feel they've led to some success here.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think the number one game changer for us and in any historic mining district where there's a lot of old information is getting all of that old information. I'm talking about like all of the old maps. In the bigger places, there'll be thousands. And I think in Tonopah, we had something like 1,500. Wow. We put those all into 3D, digitize them, georeference them to use technical terms. That's just basically putting them into 3D space so you can see where they actually are. And created all of the vein targets around those. And I think in Tonopah, when we first did the modeling initially, and I believe we were the first people to ever do this in this sense, in this way. There was something like 100 veins there.
Wow.
And we're going, okay, well, where are the best ones that we're going to drill? And this is old news now, but because of that, the first hole we drilled was 18 meters of about 650 grams per ton silver equivalent. So just as a proof of concept, we were very happy with that.
Exactly. Sounds like a lot of work to digitize all these maps, to spend time looking at them, to figure things out, and then from there, based on experience and I guess some gut, decide where your targets are. Yeah. What's that process like?
Yeah, it is a little bit of an odyssey. But the people that were working on it, our team, this is especially one gentleman. This is what he specializes in. This is, it's really his real strength, his passion. Because it's very rewarding when you can use old data that's free and come up with such good targets past that. And then subsequently, we went out and did geophysics and geochemistry at surface to get exploration drill targets, and we're fortuitous enough to do well on a couple of those. And it just shows that in places that have such rich histories, a lot of people kind of, before we started, I was just telling a gentleman, oh, there's nothing left there. The old timers got everything, but no one's really looked at it seriously. So,
Exactly.
And that's where the opportunity can be.
Excellent. Now, you've been hitting consistently good grades and over consistently good meterage intercepts. Maybe you can tell us how important that is for people to really understand, longer term when you're gonna when these things become mines. How is this important?
Yeah, I think that really speaks to the continuity of the mineralization on both the projects in these vein systems. When you can step out in New Mexico a year ago, when you can step out a kilometer plus and still hit things like 7 meters of 390 grams per ton, and that was targeted.
Right.
It wasn't
Sure.
just a Hail Mary. It
Right.
was targeted. But when you can do that and start to show continuity at scale, that's just something that, okay, well, great. I can just visualize now how much more silver there is in the veins.
Exactly. So yeah, that speaks to, obviously, I think in both cases, both projects, the potential, because if you can go step that far out, still get these wide intercepts of high grades.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like the potential just seems massive.
Yes.
In both cases.
Yes.
And I think that, it's just my view, but I think that that just speaks to a lot of potential for Summa with what I consider to be two flagships in some ways, right?
Yeah, in some ways, and
Sure.
it goes back to the earlier part of the discussion where exploration is really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking from experience,
Right.
It's very, very hard, and
Right.
if you want to do it, look for something that has the potential to be really big.
Exactly.
Like, why waste
Yeah.
time?
Right. Why spend the time and the resources to do that if the prize can't be rewarding enough?
Yes,
Sure.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
What should investors watch for next from Summa?
Yeah, so for us, I think the important thing is that we're continuing to drill. We put out these resource estimates, but it's not like we just sit back and wait, for the buyers to roll in by any means. No, we need to continue to be aggressive. So we're into a drill program now on the eastern extension of the Tonopah Mining District, stepping out around a hole that's almost out on its own. That intersected 3 meters of 1,450 grams per ton silver equivalent. Aggressive step outs around it too. I mean, we're talking 85 meters.
Wow.
We're looking to really show
Right.
the system and
Sure.
show that it is robust. So that's step one. Then we'll go out and those holes will point us in the right direction. We'll know which way the veins are going. We'll continue to step out from there, and the goal there is to find the main part of the Tonopah system on its extension. The best part of the system when it was at its most robust, the main vein got to be anywhere from 3 to 10 meters wide at probably thousands of grams per ton silver equivalent. So if we can get onto one like that, then it's game on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so maybe give us a little bit of an idea how far you've gone from where the historical mining was heading east, and how many kilometers? Because I know you've really stepped out quite far.
Yeah, we have. We have stepped out quite far. The furthest hole that we've drilled east of the district along strike from it, it's the only hole we've drilled out there, intersected 1.5 meters of almost 400 grams per ton silver equivalent. It's 4.2 kilometers east of the district. Between there and back to the district is largely unexplored. So to put that into perspective, the Tonopah Mining District produced over 4 kilometers, a trend of 4 kilometers, something like 400 million silver equivalent ounces. So we're exploring now a window that's an additional 4 kilometers to that.
Right.
And so the 6 holes we've drilled out there have all hit something. Now, where's the main vein?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So over the next few quarters, we can look for more drill results.
More drill results.
And when it comes to Mogollon in New Mexico, what are the next steps there?
Yeah, it's the same thing. Continue to step out.
Okay.
Continue to drill how many ounces are here. Continue to wrap our arms around what could be remaining. We're considering when we go back and return to that project,
Right.
and it will be dependent on how we do in Nevada
Okay.
in the next few months. Of course, the nice thing about Nevada is that well, number one, it's the best mining jurisdiction in the world, and it's always top 3 in the Fraser Institute rankings. But in my heart, it's always number 1.
Right.
And we've got a next door neighbor in Blackrock Silver
Yep.
that has 100 million ounces drilled out. So that could be a situation where the ounces they add, the ounces we add, maybe 1 + 1 = 3. So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, an excellent overview of Summa. Appreciate that insight, and look forward to doing this again soon.